This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host, Nick Mason.
It's great to be here. Now, you say that you don't like the theme, but you just silently air-drummed to it.
It's a good...
A la the gorilla in that chocolate
Everything about it is good except that one line, Mason.
Okay, right.
You're just telling me it's not a great theme song?
You know what we could do?
What's that?
We could replace it with In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
Do you think he'd let us?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
And he wouldn't know also.
He also wouldn't know. Nobody would. And no one would tell him because he's probably not on Twitter. Maybe when someone would tell his daughter, star of Emily in Paris or whatever.
That's who that is, isn't it?
Lily Collins.
Yeah, Jinx, you can't speak for the rest of the episode. What a podcast this is going to be. All right, go ahead. I release you from your
Thank you, I
curse.
appreciate it. Because we've got big news this week, Mason.
That's right.
We've got Justice League.
So much news, more than one man is required to speak.
It's true. Under
know?
normal circumstances, you would definitely just take the reins. But this week, it's too much. Justice League was leaked. Got some. We found out a bit more about how WandaVision was affected by COVID. Disney Plus numbers.
And what Paul Bettany's ears looked like
That's
during
right.
the production of
Weird.
WandaVision. Very weird.
I don't like that. What do we got here? Disney Plus subs, Black Widow cinema release, some Falcon The Winter Soldier reactions, James Gunn shooting down rumors.
He's good at that.
Pepe Le Pew Cancelled? Yeah. That'd be a great thumbnail, wouldn't it? And it'd be like with my arms crossed, but like, has cancel culture got too far?
Are you back to back with Pepe
I'm
Le
back
Pew?
to back,
A
yeah.
la Jean-Claude Van Damme in Double Impact.
I'm in solidarity.
You're both wearing like a tank top.
Yes, with sex pest Pepe Le Pew. And
You won't have stink lines coming off you.
that's right. And the number one movie has shifted again.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know, right? And then we're going to get into a topic which we talked about last week, which is small details in movies that completely break the reality of the
Because
movie for
someone, and I don't have the details here,
Keith Fallon.
Thank you, Keith. Emailed in last week and asked us about that. And then as soon as the episode finished, we're like, oh, yeah, there's a ton of those.
Yeah, finally, a good message from somebody. Do you know what I mean? It took long enough. Thanks, Keith.
We're including everyone in our lives, by the way.
We totally are.
Every text, every call, every email.
Yep, exactly.
Finally, God.
Finally, Keith has come through. But maybe go out in a high, Keith. We don't want to hear from you ever again. Okay?
Yeah.
We
This is your
appreciate
moment in the sun. Now a bit of shush, Keith.
there's time codes in the description. Collins takes care of that every week because he does the edits.
That's
He's a
right.
fantastic person, and I have too many kids. So, and you're not going to do it, I assume.
No.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes.
I've got too many kids here. Got a phone here,
Yep.
pair of glasses.
A drink.
This drink.
That's
God.
right. It's too many. Okay, so you probably heard this week, but if you were lucky enough to watch Tom and Jerry on HBO Max, or Go, or Now, I think it's Max, they've got a few, then you might have been able to watch the first 2 hours of the 4-hour epic that is Zack Snyder's Justice League Extended
This
Cut.
is fascinating.
Yes, it is.
How does this happen?
Yeah, you know, right?
Like, what is the process? Like, if they're like, okay, we got Justice League here, the Snyder Cut. It's on the server.
Yeah.
A drag and drop, presumably to a folder.
A Dropbox.
There's some thumbnails. Maybe there's a preview option.
It would be to like a hard drive that's not external to anything else, so you can't hack into it, presumably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I guess it's just look.
Not
also-
even next to each other in the alphabet.
No, they're really not. But
Unless
I guess
it's
it's
Zack
just,
Snyder's Tom and Jerry.
maybe it's like a list of like it's the next movie that was coming out.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they go numerically.
Some have said deliberate.
Well, that's the thing. We'll never know, probably.
Yeah.
But anything can be a marketing gimmick.
Yeah. Also, here's my question, and you might have the details there. How long did this stay up? Was it exactly
2 hours.
It was 2 hours.
It was 2 hours, yeah. It was about
Okay.
2 hours until somebody ratted them out.
Oh, okay.
Also, I had to peruse around some torrent sites. Not because I wanted to watch it, because I don't want to watch like half of a movie. I want to watch it for 4 hours in a row, Mason. But it's not anywhere.
Okay.
So nobody grabbed it and ripped it or anything.
Yeah,
or
right.
that part of it anyway. So.
How about this?
I mean, it will be.
How about a conspiracy theory I've just invented?
Sure.
What if it's to drive traffic to Tom and Jerry?
Quite possibly.
Because people,
yes.
because if there people will be like, nobody's watching Tom and Jerry
Yeah.
these days. But if we say maybe Justice League will pop up if you click it enough times,
And then you could, I'd imagine there might have been a spike in people signing up.
maybe, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, which will probably happen this week anyway when it comes out. Because next week, we're doing Justice
oh my
League
God,
again.
yes, yes.
Are you excited?
Yes.
I genuinely am.
Whatever the outcome
Yeah,
is,
man.
it's gonna be. I'm jazzed.
I'm jazzed too. We discussed doing it as Caravan of Garbage as well. But it's probably too early. And I kind of want to get a bit of distance between
because you burned yourself before.
bet myself before, but that and because then you find out all the behind the scenes stuff and interviews and all that when time kind of goes
Conversely,
by. Yeah,
I will always stand by my immediate opinions,
which was
even if I change them.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll say I always thought that.
You always thought that.
That's
Yeah,
how- that's how I
absolutely.
do.
But no. Next week is we're covering it extensively, and who knows what that's going to look
I
like.
reckon we could do it as Caravan of Garbage. I think we could strike while the iron's hot.
I think we could, but then what do we do for the episode? Also,
Oh, good point.
yeah, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the hindsight, but also part of me is like, yeah, I would love to do that. But then it also, like the edit for Ben would be like, it'd be a
That's
quick
true.
turnaround. And we'd probably split it into 2 or 3 maybe. I don't really know. We still could.
Yeah,
It's not
We'd have to get
possible.
Ben to go on HBO Max and
Yes.
watch Tom and Jerry constantly,
Yes.
just in the hope that it'll pop up.
That's right.
Because we're not paying him to.
Oh, no,
we're not
definitely
giving him the.
We're not made of money, Mason.
right.
And also, for those people who are signed up to bigsandwich.co, which is our subscription service, a new thing goes up whenever a new podcast episode goes up.
That's right.
And this week it'll be up by now because we're doing it after this, a 300 commentary, which is not Zack Snyder's first movie, but he's kind of the big Hollywood special effects epic that got him Watchmen and then the
Was his
this
first
trilogy.
movie Dawn of the Dead?
I think so, but he might have done other things beforehand.
He doesn't strike me as a student film guy, but maybe I'm wrong.
Let's
Maybe he
check.
did commercials.
He probably did, like a Michael Bublé. No, the other one, the other Michael. I knew that was wrong as soon as I said it. Dawn of the Dead was the first.
Wow.
And then he did, short film, sorry. He did Playground in 1990, and he did The Lost Tape and His Terrifying Last Days Revealed in 2004.
About the Toy Story character.
That's right, exactly. I'm just checking what this is. Oh, no, that is a short film that went along with Dawn of the Dead. So, yeah, it was Playground in 1990, and then he just did music videos.
There
Here
we
we
go.
go. So here we go. He did Lizzie Borden, he did Peter Murphy, he did Morrissey, he did
Lizzie
Soul
Borden,
Asylum.
the suspected serial killer.
From 1989.
Okay.
An American heavy metal band. So there you go. I
right.
never heard him. ZZ Top he did.
Wow.
He did Rod Stewart in 2005. So there you go.
Okay,
he did
wow.
Leave Virginia Alone. There you go.
Don't know what that is.
Do you want me to sing it?
Nope.
Okay. I practiced, but whatever. Let's just move on.
You practiced for this exact scenario where I said, can you go back through Zack Snyder's filmography and
Yes.
find a music video
Yeah.
and then you'll sing from the music
But
video?
I knew you'd say no, so I practiced my response to that.
Huh.
That's
What's
what I've been
What's
practicing.
the song called?
I just closed
Leave
it.
Virginia.
Something like that, yeah. I
Do
closed
you
it.
think it's a sequel to Meet Virginia?
It might
by
just
Train?
be. Mm.
Probably is, yeah.
Imagine so. So there you go. So next week, Justice League. Get hyped like it's 2017 all over
Yeah.
again, baby.
Do you think Drops of Jupiter is the sequel to Jupiter Ascending?
Which was first? But yes,
The song was first.
then yes.
Okay, great. Good.
I also practiced that response.
Terrific.
Yeah, pretty good. I didn't put as much work into that one, obviously. So you might have seen. I don't know if you watched the WandaVision behind the scenes.
Not yet, no.
I didn't because I'm done with this.
I only saw the stills.
Okay,
Again,
yeah. Big
the
blue,
ears.
Yeah, big blue Paul Bettany head and ears. Yeah, what do you think of that?
Do you think they will eventually give us the option to watch the majority of the show sans special effects?
Maybe.
So it's just him wandering around with his big bald bobblehead in his ears.
Like a blue man group looking
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I'd hope so. In a dream scenario, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see also? I didn't have this down, but Benedict Cumberbatch this week was like, they were like, "Do you want to be Thrawn?" And he's like, "I don't want to be painted blue, no." Because I got kids. I don't have time for it. I don't have
Okay.
time for it. I was can't. Everyone yelled at me. I don't want to do it again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they didn't say that, but there you go. Anyway, so we did find out though that WandaVision was affected by COVID because they couldn't do any kind of reshoots and they were pressed for time. Initially, they were going to release 3 episodes in the first bracket, but then they needed to finish the special effects.
Ah.
So what they ended up doing was not doing that and releasing 3 for review.
Yeah.
And then they released 2 and then one every
right.
subsequent weeks. But there were other narratives which they couldn't get to in the final week, which I think also why some of the green screen and the sky stuff wasn't necessarily 100%. But there was going to be more Monica Rambeau stuff. There was going to be more Darcy stuff than
the one line she got in the
That's
final
right.
episode. I suspect there was going to be more of her journey from the outskirts of town to the city, to the town center for the final battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess not.
Guess not. There was going to be more John Krasinski. All these things were going to happen.
That's right. Was there going to be Cumberbatch?
I don't know. They talked about it this week, and he was like, I think he said, like, I can't really talk about it. I'd imagine they tried to make it happen. But he's got kids. He doesn't want to be bloody.
Yeah, of course. He doesn't want to get right.
Yeah. But there was going to be a scene where the kids...
I smurfified myself. Hi, Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme.
He goes, they go into the basement and have a battle with Mr. Scratchy, where he goes...
The rabbit.
Yeah, the kids do, and I think Vision might be there, but... They go to get the Darkhold, and they're like, "Oh, it's Mr. Scratchy," and he turns into a demon, and it's like this Goonies style, scene. The transformation was going to be like American Werewolf in London kind of.
Oh my goodness!
Thing, but they ran out of time and they couldn't do it, and they said they're probably never going to release the scene because it's just very unfinished.
Oh well,
they just painted a rabbit blue and it died. Lead paint killed it.
No.
Yeah, so there you go. Are you surprised by any of that? I am not.
No.
It also explained some things. Like it felt like there were some things that didn't quite add up for me in that last episode. And yeah, I think this makes sense.
In retrospect, with a little bit more distance of that, how do you feel about that?
I liked it. Yeah, I never hated it.
Yeah.
But, now I'm over it. Next thing.
For sure, absolutely.
Next thing,
That's
Mason. More content.
1 week of breathing room, more content. You're right. I think the only thing ultimately that I've changed opinion on probably is the idea of like, when Wanda releases all the people from their horrible magical prison, and then Monica says, they'll never understand what you sacrificed. And it's like, you tortured them for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
They thought they were never getting out of this hell.
They have a pretty good idea what's going on. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of things coming up hot, so get ready for this.
Okay.
Falcon the Winter Soldier is coming this week. There's been some just reactions online, and people are like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. Oh my God, I saw it earlier. And everybody I knew said it was the best, and we're all going to kill ourselves because it's so great. So look forward to that. We might be getting an early thing, so we might have a spoiler-free review. I think it's very early Friday morning Australian time that we can release a spoiler-free review. So if that comes through, we'll probably do that, and then we're going to be doing our recaps.
Could we just do, like even if we don't get it, we could just get some audio of us going, oh my God,
we're going to kill ourselves. Oh my God, no, I don't even want to watch the rest. I'm just going to do it.
You should. We're chilling so hard here.
So, that's, positive reactions are good.
They sure are.
People are loving the buddy cop comedy styles.
But again, I would have to know who... Look, whenever I see any... Not that I don't think it will probably be entertaining.
No, I think it will be good,
But
yeah.
every time I see advanced screenings are incredible. I always want to know...
Means nothing.
Who is the person?
Yeah.
What have they previously been
Yep.
thrilled about? What's their relationship to the producers? That kind of stuff.
It generally means next to nothing.
Yes.
Because do you ever see a bad one?
Nope.
No. But also at the same time, if things are bad, they don't do this, really, do they?
Yeah.
If things are horrible.
My favorite thing, I think I've mentioned this to you privately, is like, when you see like ads for musicals.
Yeah.
Like they'll be like on the side of a bus or whatever.
Spellbinding.
Yeah, or like, yes, what they've done.
Simply magical.
It's somebody who's just been like, I'm going to give a glowing review so my name appears on the poster. And it's always like, you'll have a shreckingly good time or whatever. And it's like, no one says that about the Music Man.
No, they don't do that.
Why would you have a shreckingly good time at that?
Yeah. One day we'll get a quote. He's getting quotes. Dave Lee's getting quotes, mate.
Because he says everything's a shreckingly good
You
time.
can't stop. You can't stop him. But he's right. He's never been wrong. So there you go. So
also, I hear the Shrek musical's very bad. But
oh, is it?
I don't know.
I heard you had a shreckingly good time if you went, though. That's what I heard. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. I don't want to see a dude in realistic Shrek makeup. No, thank you. I don't want that. He's not even giant. He'd be like a biggish man.
Biggish man.
I don't want that. It's probably played by Rob Millsy Mills.
Maybe.
Seems like a nice enough guy, but I don't want that, Mason.
Initially, I didn't want this biggish man in green makeup, but I had a shreckingly good time.
So, in other news, Disney Plus passed 100 million subs this week.
That means Kathleen Kennedy's out.
It seems
She's
that way.
failed.
I know there was a Disney investors call, and she's still in. So
Probably because the 100 million Disney
Yeah.
Plus subscribers.
What I do want to do when she eventually leaves, because she probably will in the next 2 years, because she's been doing it for nearly a decade now. What I want to do is just go back through the years and just like do all the articles. Because for those people who don't know, on Big Sandwich, we also have a clickbait podcast where Mason berates me with clickbait. It's just breaking my soul every time we do it. But just to go back through all the Kathleen Kennedy's definitely fired.
She's definitely, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then, and fired. When she does leave, and maybe she will get fired, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. The whims of the shareholders, we don't know.
It'll be like, we'll see. We
Yeah.
knew it. We knew it all along. But anyway, so the 2025 target was 100 million. And
So that 4 years early.
yes.
That's very impressive.
So what I'm just doing now, because I mentioned this before, so I think it's now the second most biggest, and the Netflix paid subscribers, I think it's about 200 million, I want to say.
Well, okay.
But I might be
Which
wrong.
has taken them a decade.
About that.
Yeah.
So Disney Plus could very well overtake this. And also I think with Netflix is they kind of need to step up the quality of their shows, because a lot of stuff that comes out, I'm just like, no, thank you. Now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not all. There's still some really good stuff that comes out, but like, I feel like there used to be better stuff, right? Or more better stuff. Am I wrong?
Like what? Give me an example.
I mean, what's the last action movie you watched on Netflix that you weren't like, whatever?
The Old Guard, I think.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But even then, it wasn't like phenomenal. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, I understand, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just something to think about, Netflix.
Yeah, but I mean, well, exactly. It's been, I cannot recall anything in the last few months where
Their
I've gone,
TV's definitely better.
Yeah.
I feel their series are better, but yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like I think we've said, like Netflix seems to be a lot of like generic. There's a sort of a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and people are being pursued by people in like special forces outfits, and they've got helmets with a lot of eyes on them.
Oh my God.
You know what I know?
Yeah, I love those. I love all of those shows. So yeah, there you go. In other news, last bit of Marvel news. No, second last bit of Marvel news. Black Widow is still getting a cinematic release that is on track for next month and then early May, depending where you are in the world. Not going to be a day and date with Disney Plus at this point,
I see.
which could change.
That's true.
But that seems like a lock at this point.
Great,
You know what that
good.
means? No Time to Die is probably happening in October.
Probably.
My goodness.
How long has that been delayed in total? Like 2 years or something?
I think it was like March or May last year, maybe.
Okay, right.
I don't remember.
Okay, 100 years.
100 years, yeah, correct. Feels that way. Now it's in Eating Crow news. Here we go. So last
we
week,
eating crows?
No, yeah, me specifically.
Uh-oh.
The Illuminati. Do you remember last week? You were
Yeah.
like,
Who's the Illuminati?
Are
I
they
would've
good?
said.
And I'm like, yeah, I think they're pretty solid.
Oh, I
and
see
then
what
this
this is,
week
yep.
they very publicly got made a statement about Zac Efron. Marvel are looking and James Gunn are looking for a Zac Efron type for Adam Warlock. And then James Gunn came out on Twitter and said, there is no casting underway for Volume 3, and in what world would I only cast a Caucasian if the character has gold skin? And if I wanted a Zac Efron type, wouldn't I go Zac Efron? Where do you get this nonsense? So I guess from my perspective...
Probably a source close
Yes,
to
no-
James Gunn,
no
probably.
doubt.
Maybe
But-
they got it from giant freaking robots.
They may have. So I guess I'm just never going to endorse anything or anyone ever again.
Good
Because I
call.
feel like every time I do this, something terrible happens.
Well, I'm going to endorse the Illuminati.
Yeah. So again, I will stand by they've got some things right before, and they even doubled down on this, and they were just like, "This is what we heard."
Oh,
and look,
do you think James Gunn is playing a
fast and loose? Well, also
Yes.
that maybe it's the casting call that they got, like the studio were putting out, and not him specifically. I don't know,
Yeah,
but he
right.
said it's not happening, so it's probably not. I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, I'm never
And if it does
recommending
happen,
anything.
then we're losing faith in James Gunn.
I think we should.
Yeah,
So what do you think about that?
interesting.
Adam Warlock.
Zac Efron, because I imagine if you're going to get Zac Efron, Adam Warlock, you want him like the most ripped he's ever been. But apparently he's not going to do
Doing
that
that
anymore.
Yeah, but CGI, whatever.
I guess they could do
Put a
that.
big gold
Put him in a
chest
big
on
green
him.
sock and then put a big gold chest on him. Yeah.
That's absolutely. It looks like a mully grub.
Just have him. He doesn't.
glowworm,
He doesn't.
whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to work out at all. So they just put him in a big green sleeping bag, and he waddles out on the set, and they just CGI over the top.
Perfect, and I love it. Mason, Pepe Le Pew is cancelled.
Do you think at some point stars are
I
just?
don't
gonna...
think you heard me, Mason.
Oh, well,
That's
look,
so
I'm
good.
putting it off as long as possible. I don't want to believe it, James. I'm just saying at a certain point, I reckon certain actors are just going to license out their appearance.
Yes.
And because they've already been scanned.
Sure.
And they'll just put them in. Zac Efron will just be like, put my
me in,
face on this
whatever.
and I'll take the money. And
Yeah, totally.
And I'll do the voiceover in my house and that's it, you know.
Absolutely. Like Michael Biehn did in one of the Aliens 3,
And like Mr. Bean did.
in the cartoons of Mr. Bean.
Yep.
Have you ever seen those?
Oh, like seconds at a time.
They
I
really
guess.
lose the magic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Just not good.
Because it's easy to draw a man on the top of a car.
Anyone can do that.
Pulling ropes on the steering wheel,
Yeah.
it's driving the car from the top of the car.
Though Rowan Atkinson has said like it's like an exhausting character to play, which I'd imagine it would be. So, just
The gurning alone, James.
like, what's that mean?
So when you make it your face funny.
That's true. That would be quite the taxing feat.
Yes.
Remember when he crashed his Ferrari or whatever? That was in the news. I always found it funny that dude had a Ferrari.
Rowan Atkinson.
He just doesn't look like the type. But then again, they never are. You see a Ferrari, you look at the guy in that, and you're like, doesn't really fit, does it?
Yeah.
Doesn't really work.
Kind of a goober in that car.
You expect like a Mark Wahlberg to step out. Do you know what I mean?
For sure,
And it's normally
yeah,
just
yeah.
some old goober.
It's normally somebody who looks like one of the hosts of Top Gear.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Like if you saw one of the hosts of Top Gear in a Ferrari, you'd be like, "Oh, it's one of the hosts of Top Gear.
Yeah,
Of course they
'cause
have
they
a
have to,
Ferrari."
yeah, yeah.
Right, but if you didn't know who the hosts of Top Gear were,
Yeah, it would
and
be
one of those
strange,
guys
yeah.
went out, you'd be like, "Oh, midlife crisis."
What is this? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's happened here? Yeah. Okay. Pepe Le Pew has been cancelled. So Pepe Le Pew was set to appear in
When you say he's been cancelled, you mean he's been cancelled since like 1983, which is the last time he's been in anything.
I think it might have been. No, he was in the last Space Jam.
was he? Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So,
So
do you want,
1995 or
do
whatever.
you want? Yeah. Do you want a description of the scene? 96, I think. Pepe was set to appear in a black and white Casablanca-like Rick's Cafe sequence. Pepe playing a bartender.
Good, great reference.
Thank you. So, playing a bartender.
Very, very current.
Yeah, I think so. Well, remember they're going to the different
guess,
movies,
yeah.
the cyberverse or whatever.
Yeah. Well, then he should have been in the Merovingians bar.
Yeah, that would have made more sense, wouldn't it? Because he's doing a weird sex stuff, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, he talks about it quite openly in that movie. Starts hitting on a woman at the bar played by Santo. He begins kissing her arm, which she pulls back, then slamming Pepe into the chair next to hers. She then pours a drink on Pepe and slaps him hard, sending him spinning in a stool, which is then stopped by LeBron James's hand. James and Bugs Bunny are looking for Lola, and Pepe knows her whereabouts. Pepe then tells the guys that Penelope Cat has filed a restraining order against him. James makes a remark in the script that Pepe can't grab other tunes without their consent. So that will no longer be in the movie.
Whoa.
Yeah, so who gives a shit? And I always hated Pepe Le Pew, in all honesty.
Sure.
I always, like, even as a kid, I'm like, this guy's too kissy for my liking. It's weird. I don't like
Right,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so does anybody care about this?
Nope.
Is he anybody's favorite
Nobody
character?
honestly
I was going to
cares.
say, I can understand that's like, what's next, who's next, cancel culture, whatever. I understand all that, but this specifically, does anybody really
Like,
care?
I reckon there's probably people out there who are like, oh, I'm a little bit like Bugs Bunny, I'm funny and I've got jokes and whatever.
I love carrots.
I'm just a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, but who's like, I'm a horrible pest who stinks. That's who I empathize with the most.
Actually, there was going to be a Max Landis written Pepe Le Pew movie from a few years ago. Do you remember that?
Guess someone does identify as a pest who stinks.
So there you go.
Wow.
Last bit of news, though. The number one movie in the world.
Whoa.
Get ready for it, Mason.
I'm ready.
Drum roll, please. It's Avatar again. It's Avatar. It's back. Avatar is back.
We did it, folks.
So
I knew we all could do it. I said, let's all knuckle down and go to whatever country that
China.
it's back in cinemas at.
yes,
We'll all go there.
Re-released.
We'll buy some tickets.
we're going to be swept away in the magic of Pandora bracelets.
Yeah, that's right.
And just live in a world where everybody's having a great.
It's wild they never
environmental-
did a Pandora bracelet like merch crossover situation.
You don't think they did?
Surely not.
Let's have a look.
Okay. That is going to be a... You're not going to find anything.
I'll find everything.
Google,
Mason.
if you go... Yeah, okay. But anyway, good. I mean, it seemed weird that, that a James Cameron movie wasn't the most
Yes.
popular movie in the world.
It is strange, isn't it? So anyway, they're both Disney properties, so it doesn't matter. There's one on Pinterest. Oh, no, there's not, mate. There's been some, oh, wait, hang on a sec.
Whoa.
Pandora Disney Jasmine. No, sorry.
Okay.
I thought I'd found it. Mason, for a
Whoa.
second, but I hadn't. So there you go.
Because you could have, because the Pandora bracelet's a
put on
bracelet
the-
you add
you
the
put on
little,
the different
little-
thing.
You could have Jake Sully trinket.
Both forms.
Both forms of Jake
Human
Sully.
form,
yeah, and then a really big version.
Yeah, real tall
You
one.
can have military guy in power loader.
Yep.
Trinket. Sigourney Weaver trinket.
Oh my god! And everyone gets the dual form.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
real
yeah,
long
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Yep.
Trinket.
Big dragon trinket.
Dude who got shot with big arrows at the end in a mech trinket.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. The
Maybe some
trinkets.
foliage.
Foliage trinket, yep,
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Great
yeah.
stuff.
Because you'd have to buy a bunch because then they could all hide in the foliage.
This is going to be good when we
Yeah.
finally make this crossover happen. Though those Pandora things.
This is our first bit of proper merch we're going to make. Avatar-themed Pandora bracelet trinkets.
2 brands we have no association
That's
with,
right.
but let's make it happen. Yeah, those are nowhere anymore, those Pandora stores. Have you noticed? Kind of gone out of favour.
I honestly haven't noticed.
Exactly, you haven't noticed.
No, that's
Those
true.
things you don't notice anymore.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's all the news
Whoa.
that we could fit in this week. There was more, but we were like, let's keep it tight.
Let's just dial it back, all right?
Dial it back,
We're like,
because-
settle down news.
That's right, because we want to get into now what's the smallest detail which is taking you out of a movie by
Right.
Keith, which he wrote in. But he's never writing it again because this is a great idea. And one of the ones that we mentioned last week was I had photoshopped family photos and they look really bad.
Yep.
And you had one in particular was security footage that just is footage from previous scenes in a show and or movie.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's just no effort to
Yeah.
recreate that in any
Yeah.
way.
But then we're like, there's so many more.
There is so many more.
Why do we even enjoy movies and TV shows if they're constantly doing these things and ruining stuff?
Makes no sense to
Right.
me. So I put the call out on Patreon. You
Yep.
are on a... You've got...
There's a thread on
the
the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group.
Check it out.
That is covering similar topics.
And I've got a few tweets here as well, which we got sent, specifically from Lord of Thunder, who says, hey, was listening to your last episode and you guys were discussing things that take you out of a show or movie. For me, it's when someone is sending or receiving a text message and there's no text history.
yeah,
It's
because it's a fresh phone.
Yeah, so that to me implies that like this world that they're creating just existed. Like it just existed at this very second. You know what I mean? And even
Yes.
if it's a fresh phone, you're porting over old messages, aren't
Yeah.
you?
But at the very least... Oh, I meant like a fresh phone, like in the production.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah,
you're
yeah.
absolutely right. Like at least just get somebody to text lol to it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the previous text
one
is just
says
lol.
yeah.
You know?
You're like these guys had already had
and
an
that's like, I've been
existing-
kidnapped.
Yeah, that's right. So there you go. What do you got though? What
How
else
about
you got?
this? When somebody goes into a bar and they've never been there before and they sidle up and they go to the bartender and they say beer. The bartender just hands them a beer.
Yeah.
Like as if you did that in real
If it's
life.
the old West, maybe.
Yeah,
'cause
right.
It's one beer.
One beer and that's all they have. But
Yeah.
like in the real world, if you went into a bar in Melbourne and you said beer,
Yeah.
the bartender would stare at you for 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he'd go, what kind of beer?
What kind of beer do you want?
But at the same time, James,
Yeah.
if somebody goes into a bar in a movie, I guess like it would work as a joke, like if they have a pre-existing relationship with a bartender and they
Sure,
know
yeah.
what and gives them the usual or whatever.
Yeah.
But also if somebody goes into a bar and they're like, one Bud Light, please. I'm always like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a sponsorship deal. That's
Well,
what's
for
going
me,
on
I'm
here.
just like, just give me a Furphy on tap or whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You do have to often name the brand. You're right. I think I've got one about brand deals here. What about Jeremy Miller? And I don't know whether I agree with this, but I would. No, I do and I don't because he's written recast actors that aren't addressed. And I think also it's like you can't. Do you know what I mean? If
Right.
it's like somebody who's left the show and they're replaced by a different character, like BJ when he came into MASH, for example, when he replaced Trapper.
Yeah.
But if it's like supposed to be the same character and they switch the actor, sometimes there's a nod and the wink, as they did in
Yeah.
like Fresh Prince when they recast Aunt Viv.
or in Iron Man 2 when they replaced
Don Cheadle.
they replaced
Sorry. Don Cheadle replaced.
it's been so long.
Oh my God.
Right? The guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
Yeah. When Don Cheadle says it's me, he's like, it's me, get used to it or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So was that okay for you?
I mean,
Terrence Stamp.
No.
Terrence Howard.
There we go.
Thank you. Terrence Stamp is from Star Wars, Mason, for The Phantom Menace, and that's the only movie he's in.
That's right.
Yeah, but what do you do?
I guess
though?
I'll live with it, James.
Yes, it is kind of jarring, but why? What do you do? I guess
I think it's more jarring when a character is replaced with a different character who is an actor is replaced with a different actor who is largely the same. Like they kind of look the same, and it's a different character. But they've gone okay, well we lost a bubbly blonde woman.
Yeah.
Like the actor left, so we'll just hire another bubbly blonde woman, and she has a different name.
Yeah.
But she's got the same role.
Oh my God.
She's also a epidemiologist or whatever.
Sure.
You know?
What show are you thinking of specifically?
Probably House, I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Probably House.
What next, though, Mason? We're just going to fly through some of
This
these.
from Clayton.
Okay.
His is basically anything with video games and movies.
Yeah.
And they're better at it now.
Because they use real ones?
Yeah, but back in when this sort of I think the first movie I ever saw that got it right was maybe The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
But they're using different controllers.
They are, that's right. Yeah.
So I do you mean like the video game they're playing and it looks fake, or they've got, I know like
both, but I think it's when they're like
just doing nothing,
or they're like moving their controllers back and forth, or they're like
little kid will do that.
Yeah.
But
sometimes you'll see two people like playing a video game and then it cuts to the screen, it's a one-player game.
Yeah, okay,
like it's
yeah,
the two people and they're like, I'm going to get you, and then it cuts to like one-player Halo.
Yeah, okay,
And
yeah.
What are you doing, you know?
Halo was in everything at a point in time, wasn't it?
That's true.
Yeah. I don't like fake video games because it's very obvious and bad.
What if it's like, an episode of The X-Files when somebody gets sucked into a video game and they invent the video game?
I'm absolutely fine with that. That's
great.
A+ material.
I think so too, yeah.
I know there's a scene in The Wiz where the kid who they're taking to California, I haven't seen this in a million
Wiz.
years. Yeah, The Wiz. The
Wiz himself.
The Wiz himself. He's playing Double Dragon for like a minute, and they're like, oh my God, you got 50,000 in Double Dragon. And everybody since then has been like, you can't get 50,000 points in Double Dragon, and even if you could, you can't get it in a minute. What are you even talking about? So, yeah. And also, with a game that's like specifically...
What's he using, a game genie? What's going on?
Well, exactly. But with a movie that's specifically about video games and promoting the video game Super Mario Brothers 3, which is the point of The Wiz.
Correct, yes.
You'd think you'd fucking get that right, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I know, that's all I'm saying.
But I reckon that's the point where...
Also, kids don't know in the 90s.
Yeah, but I also think probably the movie producer at that point would have had way more sway than anybody bringing anything to the table in terms of video game knowledge. They'd probably be like, we want the kids to be more excited just so you got 50,000 points.
Oh my God, you got 550 points in the first level. That's quite good. It might not sound like a lot, but that's quite
But in
good.
the context of this game, and then the game fans would be like, that is actually quite good, the first level of that
It's not
game.
like unusual, but it is difficult.
Yes.
Alex says, just watch Chernobyl, which is which was amazing, but the fact that they all spoke in English while the radio and text was in Russian, they would be reading Russian and saying English words. It always took me out every time. This is a rock and a hard place, this one, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
So, what do you do, in a situation like this?
I'm a big fan of what they did in Hunt for Red October, which is you get the actors initially to speak in some Russian, or the foreign language, and then you do like a quick camera shift,
Valkyrie,
and then they're speaking in English, in British accents.
Beautiful British accents.
Yeah, but I think the thing that the idea of they're German or Russian or something and they're speaking English. What throws me is when each actor has decided to speak in a different accent. Some people are doing Russian, some people are doing British.
Yeah.
Some people are just doing an American accent and they're supposed to be Russian.
That's Jerry Butler.
Yeah, get it. Have a meeting, get all the actors in and say, pick an accent. We're all going to commit to one accent.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
Yes.
What next?
People who hang up their phones.
Yep.
And they're like, I'll meet you there in 15 minutes, and then they hang up.
They just hang up. Never happens.
No.
You're absolutely right.
First of all, nobody ever makes phone calls anymore.
No, that's true.
No.
Psychopaths make phone calls.
I would never pick up a phone if somebody called me, but if
I
I did, I'd be like, okay, bye.
Yeah. I will only call you if it's quicker to have a conversation.
Right.
I'm like, there's 3 things I need to ask you or whatever. But other than that, or you think something's wrong. You're like, what's happened? Have we cancelled? I'm not going to pick up, you say.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's probably the Pepe Le Pew stuff. It's probably that double impact poster you made with yourself with Pepe Le Pew. This is one that is a lot better now.
Okay.
A lot of these, I think, have gone into the public consciousness as annoying.
Yeah.
And people and they've fixed them. Like, for example, the one I said earlier where people just order a beer.
Yeah.
Like, oftentimes they'll just work around that. Like, you might, have somebody sidle up to the bar in montage or in silence, or like this bar noise.
Yeah,
and they just get served a beer, and then
you just hear.
But here, this is one. When a cop drives up to like a location they need to investigate, and they just park right in the front.
Oh, okay.
They just park right in the front there, and it's like, how long did you circle?
I guess that could be any show where you're driving anywhere as well, especially in bloody LA, am I right? They lambast that in the Auntie Donna in the show.
Yes. Oh, they do. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes, that's the. I'm like, what
It's
did
like
I
a
see?
whole sketch.
What did I see recently where they're trying because they're trying to improve their image, right?
Yeah.
And they want to go to a boutique, I think, to get some new clothes or something.
They just end up driving around.
Driving around
LA.
for ages, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I got one from Bob Noble who says aspect ratio changes mid-film. Chris Nolan is notorious for doing this. Plus, seems
I
like
don't notice it.
Zack
I think
Snyder-
maybe because I have a very narrow field of vision.
Zack Snyder is taking it a whole new level with the BVS remaster from what I've seen in the trailer. For me, the only time it's been really jarring was Transformers 4 when it was like between shots.
Oh, I did notice that. Yeah.
It was like neck was breaking every time it happened. But generally, I find like
Was that for IMAX?
yes, but it was still in normal cinemas.
Yeah.
for some reason, or maybe we did a VMAX when we saw it or something.
Yeah, but I mean, thank God we didn't see that. We didn't actually see it in IMAX because that would have
dead.
hurt.
We'd
Yeah,
be dead,
right.
Mason. But I think a good example is like for The Mandalorian recently, when the sandworm comes out, then the aspect ratio like opens up.
Yeah, huh.
And I think the first time I watched it, I don't think I even noticed because it was just kind of like
Yeah, right.
But no, I
Yeah, there's ways to do it in or even like Wizard of Oz starts in black and white and then it becomes color. Like there's ways to integrate it in and sort of go, okay, we're seeing the world in this narrow field, but here's the bigger world, like you just said with the sandworm. Yeah,
everything you thought you knew.
that's right.
It's slightly bigger. It's taller, actually. What else, Mason?
How about this?
Okay.
Passwords.
When they're hacking,
When somebody's I mean, again, this still
you
happens.
can never get a password.
No, like it's
Ever.
I must have seen.
I can't even get my own, let alone if I forgot.
I mentioned this a while back. We both watched The Kid Detective.
Yes, we did.
With Adam Brody.
good movie.
And the one thing that took me out of that movie is there is a scene where he's trying to hack some kid's computer, and he goes, "Oh, he's obsessed with this girl." So I'll say, her name's Emily or whatever, and I'll put it in, and that's the password.
Yeah.
That never works.
Never ever in a million years, yeah.
Or like in the seminal movie Hackers, where
Yes.
they're like the four most common passwords are like sex, love, God, and whatever.
Not true.
No, but the most common password is still password, as far as I know. You know?
Mine are like entirely random. You couldn't look around the room and be like, oh, he likes
Microphones.
books. I don't. No, I don't like books.
Like books.
But
Oh, but what does he like? Silence.
complete silence, stillness.
Being alone.
Yeah, waiting for death.
01.
We're
Because
in.
you got to put the
yeah, we're in.
420.
Because even then, like, because often you got to put characters on the end of passwords as well, and uppercase and lower cases and all sorts of
There's
things.
there's a few in Watchmen in the comic book, and I think they kept it in the movie.
Yeah.
Where
Well, then that's good. They're authentic.
yeah. So the password, because the Ozymandias was obsessed with Ramesses, the
Get
Egyptian
a big
god.
statue, probably.
He puts they're hacking and they put in Ramesses, and the computer's like, password incomplete. Do you want to add some more to it? It's Ramesses the second, because that's so it's the pharaoh, right?
That's hilarious.
But it's like, is the computer going to give you a hint? Is it?
But I guess also in that scenario, he probably planned for it. He probably built that
Maybe,
to lead
'cause
it. But it's still
because
dumb.
he's that clever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean,
Just don't have a password then, mate.
just don't have a yeah. Right? You want some help? Are you trying to hack this?
Yeah.
Clippy shows up and he's like, "You trying to hack
Are you
this?"
trying to hack an email, a Gmail?
I mean, these days the obvious thing is to just they've got a post-it note on their screen.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
got their password on it.
Yeah, I think
or it
that-
autofills.
Actually, they had that in Ready Player One, and I went, yeah. Some people, I have done some tech stuff, like working in schools. People do that all the time, just have their password up on them.
Yeah.
Fucking thing. Happens all the time. What about this from Andrew, who says, when anything an actor wears or uses looks brand new?
Yeah, I mean that's the result of kind of like limited budget and like
Because often they'll like scuff up a pair of shoes.
yeah, because there's
whatever.
like I think there's like there's the student film or short film or whatever where the actors just wear their own clothes and that's you wearing stuff that is worn, and then there's the huge budget blockbuster where they get they'll get a t-shirt and they'll sandblast it and they'll leave it in the sun and they'll wash it a few times and then it's like, okay, well it looks like it's been worn and washed or whatever.
Yeah.
But then there's the middle bit where it's like, okay, here's your wardrobe, we just bought it all, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all from Target.
Yeah.
It's all Target white tees and jeans.
Yes.
What else we got?
Uh,
Oh no. His phone is stalled.
No, it's not. No, my brain is stalled. There's
I got one from Andy, though. I can do this then.
Okay. This is okay. Go ahead. I got one after that.
Characters getting information from breaking news. It's lazy screenwriting trick, and it's so unbelievable. The news they need just happen to show up. Yeah.
Especially when they turn the TV on and it's like breaking
There is a
news.
disaster. There's a hurricane.
Which I'm sure has been parodied in some movies where somebody will turn the TV on, they're like, "Oh, it's just on. We'll just wait."
Yeah.
And then there's a little.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's your one though?
This is from Catherine. Beautiful, sparkly white, perfectly straight teeth in any period film.
Yeah,
historical
fair point.
drama, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or even regular people
Of any kind.
It's kind of unusual.
Yeah. But just like but again, there is a spectrum there. Where it's like beautiful, perfect Hollywood teeth. But if you have a character who's just got like a mouth of just like rotten teeth and
awful.
gaps, and it's like
Well, that's an evil person.
that's right.
And
the
in real
prince
life.
can't have gaps in his teeth. No.
Absolutely not. Yeah, so true. Hustle Bun says the Wilhelm scream. For those people who don't know, it's like that. It's from, I don't know. Is it initially from Star Wars? Might not be.
No,
it's from like the 50s or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's it's not that. It's not it.
No.
Everyone would have known. People know it.
Look, there's two that take me out. It's the
there
Wilhelm
is
scream, and then there's the
Nutrigrain
Nutrigrain scream,
scream,
is
yeah.
what we call it, which is the one that goes.
It's no longer an inside joke. We all recognise it. Stop using it or replace it with the Howie yell or from Our Real Monsters. That's quite funny. I think that's true, but I also don't mind it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's also often in like popcorn, like blockbusters. Like I don't think Christopher Nolan's using it in his immersive universes that he creates with varying aspect ratios.
You could throw one in though, couldn't
I
he?
don't think he does. I'm pretty
No,
sure he
he
wouldn't do
wouldn't.
it.
No,
Maybe in Memento.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I mean, he might. I mean, most of his dialogue might have a Wilhelm scream in it.
true.
We just don't know.
We don't know.
How about this, James?
Oh my God, I'm ready.
And we've mentioned this in the past, I'm sure. When you've got a big villain like a Terminator, and they're on their way to kill Sarah Connor, and so they just like punch people's hearts out and break people's necks and shoot everybody in the way to, and then they get to Sarah Connor and then they throw her.
Yes. I think the Terminator films don't do that for the first two.
Yeah, but then
they
three,
do them all the
three
time.
goes nuts.
Yeah,
and
four, probably the next 8 that they made. Yeah. Ulek says, when a line, that really takes me out.
yeah,
You got to write scenario. You know what's really good at that? It follows.
it's good at that.
It's good because it doesn't do it. It's just
right.
like, stay away from this thing. It's real weird. We don't like it.
And again, I think that is probably a function of bad production design. Like, if they've built a set where the monster's going to come at you, but there's ways and means to avoid it.
Yeah.
That have been built into the set, then it can work. But if it's just an empty playing field and they get grabbed and they have to go, well, just say he throws you.
They throws you for some reason. Ulek says, when a line is clearly put in from the trailer, but it doesn't seem to fit, i.e., I thought she was with you from Batman v Superman. You sent her an email, Batman. Yeah, he did. So,
right.
Maybe that was... We've talked about that. Like, is it fun banter? I don't know. But, that's a strange thing. And Mike says, fake driving scenes and actors doing shitty foreign accents. So Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. But, fake driving scenes. Though that was kind of mind-blowing when Mark and Naomi came in recently and said there were fake driving scenes.
Yeah. I mean, they were on a
green screen?
Screen, yes.
Yes,
right.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
When I watched that show, I thought they were doing the thing where they're on the flatbed,
and
being driven around,
Yeah, totally.
but they weren't actually driving, but they weren't even on the flatbed.
They weren't even doing that.
Crazy.
What else, Mason?
But again, you're absolutely right. It's fake driving scenes where there's too much play in the steering wheel.
Yeah, totally.
They're really spinning that wheel, but they're just having a
crazy time.
And I think I've mentioned this before when people are driving, but they turn to speak to each other for a really, really,
Gregory
really
has
long
put
time.
in that when drivers look away from the road to talk to the passengers for over 5 seconds or worse, like a minute. My son, like when he's in the back, he's like, "Look at this," and I'm like, "I literally can't." He's like, "Just look," and I'm like, "No, I can't. We'll all die. I can't look."
You know, you could teach him a lesson, a valuable lesson, by crashing the car.
I couldn't I?
But I don't think he would take the lesson.
No, he probably wouldn't. He'd probably just be traumatized. And also, I don't think it's a lesson he'd appreciate when he's older. He wouldn't be like, actually, that was very helpful.
That's right.
I learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
If he lives.
I mean, my elbows went through my chest, but still.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's one that I didn't think about when I was a kid, but now every single time I'm like, we all know this doesn't happen. It's when a fuel tank gets shot and it explodes.
Ah, yeah.
Like we live in a post Mythbusters world.
Yes.
Where we've all seen the clips of them like shooting in a fuel tank with like incendiary bullets or whatever, and the bullets just go through and it doesn't blow up. I'm like, I'm forgiving of it in video games because we want to make explosions happen.
Oh, I'm fine with it, yeah.
But in a movie, I'm just like, that's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
You
happen.
need very specific conditions.
Yes.
Yeah, cars very rarely just like fully explode.
If you want a car to blow up, give the character a rocket launcher.
Exactly. And have them fire it inside the car.
Right.
Oh my God.
And you can make it out of, toilet rolls.
Exactly.
It's easy. It's cheaper than getting a gun.
Cole says CPR in movies is not how CPR works. Also, you don't take a bullet out unless it's absolutely necessary. That's true. And the Heimlich maneuver is not really a thing you should use anymore.
Really?
You do like more of like a between the shoulder blade tap.
Oh, right.
That's probably different again. So just look
Don't
it up.
take our advice. Don't take our advice.
I don't know.
If right now somebody near you is choking, do not listen to our advice. Go on YouTube.
I can do it on babies and kids, and I have, but I don't know what it's like for adults. So yeah, there you go.
What do you? If you got with a kid, you tip them upside down. Isn't that easier?
No, it's a shoulder blade. It's like
of course, yeah.
I mean, you can tip them upside down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a pretty.
Babies, you do more of that. Actually, you kind of tilt them up and like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
what I
sorry,
thought.
go on. But again, it's different. Also, where you are in the world, different people.
Look,
different things.
this probably comes up every week, and I'm going to call it the EMP.
Oh my
rule.
God, oh my
But,
God,
I mean,
oh my
it's
God, oh my
first of all,
God.
it's any time in a movie somebody explains what an electromagnetic pulse does.
Yes.
Because we all know at this point. But also, it's the idea of when there are two experts and one expert explains something to the audience, but they're actually explaining it to, in the movie, the other expert.
Yes.
It's like we both know.
We're both astronauts. Yeah.
Yeah. We both know what this air pipe does.
Yeah, totally. I think that's something that the movie Sunshine does really well. Your favorite movie and my favorite movie, both our favorite movie, because they're all astronauts, and when there's like an emergency, the whole screen doesn't light up. They're like, so it's designed if it's an emergency, they know this interface, so there's just like a red dot in the corner,
right,
and they're like, oh, we know what that is because we've been doing training for this for 10 years.
Sure.
So, yeah.
A big alert sign would be distracting.
Absolutely.
Speaking of hackers earlier,
Yes.
what about hacking when people don't use a mouse?
So just keys.
Just keys, but I know why they do that, because there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, there's no...
You can sweep the camera past them.
Yeah, you can, and it can go ba-dam, ba-dam,
Have you
ba-dam,
seen
ba-dam, ba-dam.
that NCIS where they get two people on the keys?
No.
Have you seen? You should look it up.
No.
I think it's NCIS.
Okay.
I gotta find
Incredible.
it.
Oh, it'd be the two hackers. It'd be the new guy and the goth girl
Yeah, absolutely.
doing the hacking together.
I can show you this. Do you want to see it now?
All right, I guess.
Yeah, okay, we're going to do it.
Everybody else Google this.
Yeah, Google it.
If you're looking at somebody they're choking in real life, don't YouTube two people using computers at the same keyboard at the same time. It is the goth girl.
Yeah, it is.
I knew it. Yeah, I knew it. James. Of course it'd be those
Like they're
two.
on the same keyboard.
Oh, wow, that's
This is wild.
unbelievable. Do you think?
This is so funny.
Yeah. Do you think that was in the script, or do you think they just did it on the day?
I think it was in the script.
Wow.
And the screen is moving so fast where it's like,
Yeah.
you're not, what are you even looking at?
Right.
You
Exactly. Yeah.
that's-
But that's the thing. Like, I do like the idea of all the hacking interfaces and all the all the
Yeah.
windows pop up and all these scrolling lines of code or whatever. But I mean, and again, it's the rhythm of the typing and the bam bam bam
Absolutely.
that gets people into it. But I mean, most hacking is like.
You run a software.
Yeah, or you like hack somebody's. You put a keystroke logger in somebody's computer, or you see like somebody puts up you look at somebody's Zoom meeting and they've got a password on the post-it note stuck to their wall or whatever, and you go, I'll just put that in,
I'll just do
and then
that.
you click a mouse, and that's
Exactly. How do you feel like Hustle Bun says that punches that don't land and bad choreography in fights? The tunnel fight at the end of Dark Knight Rises is so bad. That's not something, I think because it's not my area.
Yeah.
I only notice when it's like exceptionally bad.
Well, that's the thing. We've not factored in the idea of one thing that I think almost every like expert, like if you're a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, or really any like a construction worker, like if you see somebody, walking without a hard hat, or without a safety railing or whatever,
walking under a ladder, it's bad luck.
Bad
Don't do
luck,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like. I'm sure there are doctors who watch like an ER or something and love the idea that it's so stupid. But I'm sure there is an equal number who are like, I hate this. This is not how we do anything.
Yeah, you might be right. Oh my goodness. I actually get taken out in movies and shows when teachers are really bad. I think like that's why I stopped watching AP
Bad
Bio.
people, or-
Yeah, but like they're just like, we're doing nothing for class today. I'm just gonna sit here and I'm hungover. It's like,
right.
no, you just can't.
Right.
They'll just fire you. Like it's pretty hard to be fired as a teacher, but if you just turn up every day and do nothing, they will fucking fire you. You better believe it. Yeah. But it's a comedy, whatever. When someone holds this is from Rerun 6488, when someone holds a soda can at an impossible angle just to show the label. I think you could say that for like a lot of brands as well.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I feel the same, but it's like when somebody holds a can deliberately not, you can't see the label.
Oh, okay,
like
yeah.
they've clearly, it's something in the way that it's delivered to camera, or somebody's like, cheers to you, and they're holding it.
Yeah.
They've realized mid-cheers that if they show it like this, you can see the Coca-Cola label on it, and they don't have the license for that, so they just have to kind of
What if it's something
curve
like,
it on
what
the
if it's
way.
like Raz Cola? Then is that even more like, ugh?
In anything that's ostensibly set in the real world.
Okay.
Like if it was like Superman and they showed Soda Cola, which is the
Yeah.
brand in Metropolis, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But if it's Raz Cola.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the label, because if it's just like a plain can, it's just printed Raz.
If it says
on
plain can
it. Plain
cola.
can cola.
Oh, unless it's like, black and gold.
I love black
generic
and gold.
supermarket brand.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
They stopped doing that though. They jazz up their cans now, don't
bet
they?
they do, yeah.
No, they're not doing any of that
Yeah.
business.
They do it minimalist now.
Yeah, they
it'd
do.
It'd be a white can, and in like Helvetica, it'd say black and gold brand soda. And then you'd know.
And then you'd know.
that it's 50 cents a can, yeah.
I know you're not going to want to hear this, Mason, but because you don't like the way I say it, but canned beer is back in a big way. Have you noticed that?
What are you saying?
Canned beer.
Canned beer.
We've had this discussion before on this
yeah,
show.
it seems unnatural.
What is it? Can of beer? Here, have a can of my beer. Would you like
Here,
a can of beer?
have this beer that I've canned. They canned this at the beer cannery. Don't like it, no.
Well, bottled beer, canned beer. It's the same thing,
It's
man.
not, though,
what
is
do you
it?
call it then?
Yeah, can of beer.
But it's like it's more than one. So would you say cans of beer?
No, I'd say a slab of tinnies.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I'm
I'd
talking.
say, James, we're going to knock the top off some of these bloody frothies, mate.
Well, that's
But
more of a bottle,
that is
isn't
more
it?
of a bottle beer, yeah. That's true. You would knock the top off a canned beer.
No, you
Not on
wouldn't.
my watch.
No, yeah. Let's pull the pull rings on these cans of beer that we have that we bought in a slab.
Cheers! what were we talking about? I've lost...
I don't know. You were going to say something and I
Was
cut
I?
in
All
with
right.
that. So yeah. Anyway, I like canned beers back, baby. And you can flatten them. They're good for the recycle bin, which
Okay,
mine is
great.
constantly overflowing.
Terrific.
What do you got though?
Okay, how about this?
For all my canned beers.
How about when a timer is counting down?
Mm.
Again, they're better at this, but they're not great. A timer is counting down, and it's like there's 2 minutes before the reactor's going to melt down. But the time it takes for them to get all the stuff done and disarm the
Okay.
reactor is longer in movie time than the 2 minutes.
I bet the show 24 was really good at that.
But it was. I'm like, the whole thing was real time.
It was. You know what? Not a great show. Like, good idea, I think. Not great. Wasn't there a movie?
Yeah, maybe.
But it
was 24 hours long.
Also, it factored in the ads, so it was like,
It's true.
oh, that worked. Anyway, Amy's written hair continuity. I'm big on this.
You really
When
are.
a lock changes position back and forth during one conversation, whose fault? Actor, makeup, continuity editor, whoever it is, it'll drive you mad once you notice it. Ditto necklace position. Totally true. I find the same thing with, I think someone's actually written this here, but like with food and also cigarette length. Like and the best movies, like Tarantino's movies, do it really well. Fight Club has a lot of smoking and it's got great cigarette continuity. It's a
So
Fincher
cool.
movie.
Oh my
but
God.
yeah, there's a lot of
and
them.
it taught me how to be a man.
That's right.
Fight Club.
I think that's not what that was really about.
No,
though,
it was
that
about
movie.
fighting, though.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was about
Oh,
fighting.
they made that video game with Fred Durst
It was
as
about
well.
fighting and purchasing IKEA furniture products.
So true. You're absolutely right. Have you got any others there?
oh my God, Fred Durst was in that.
He was, wasn't he?
Unbelievable.
And Abraham Lincoln.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, how about one I mentioned to you off air last week was weird gun stuff.
Yeah, I've got a gun one here.
What do you got?
I just got to find it. Hang on.
I'm not super concerned about how many bullets are fired.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that in between scenes people will reload.
Yeah, there's a bunch of here about guns, but
Okay.
there's a lot of...
The one that annoys me, and I think I've mentioned...
Well, you did mention this to me off
Yeah,
air,
yeah,
didn't
off
you?
air, yeah. When your standard issue gun,
gun.
Like your semi-automatic pistol.
A gun machine.
Like a gun that like an FBI agent or whatever would carry.
Yes.
When it fires its last bullet, the slide, which is like the thing at the top, like the box that contains the barrel.
Where you go.
Yeah, it locks back. It locks back.
Yeah.
So you go, oh, it's empty now.
Yes.
Right. But there's so many movies where somebody's firing the gun like, and then it goes click, 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 and they're like, what?
I'm out of bullets.
How did I run out of bullets? And it's like you'd know.
Yeah,
that happens in WandaVision.
Yes, that was specifically what you mentioned.
Hayward is firing at Monica, and then he's like, click, click, oh my gun, it's out of bullets. And it's like, you'd know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And that makes me go, oh, it's not even a prop gun that has the action on it. It's just a fake plastic gun they've added visual effects and gun muzzle flash to.
And boo.
And boo, exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
What about this, Mason?
Go on.
Owen says, when someone reads their Google search out loud, when someone Googles something with capital letters and punctuation. Yeah, you do. I've never thought about that, but they're often like, and I am searching. I might do it on this because it's like, it's not a visual medium.
Oh, yes.
Nobody can see my screen when I'm Googling Netflix box office subscription numbers or whatever. But that's for people who, I guess, can't read or don't want to read, I assume. What about, Gregory says, when a computer screen shows fancy animations about the data in the files, like a bunch of photos of a suspect don't pop up all over the screen showing places that they've been. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Where they'll run a search around the world and then they come up like randomly on the screen.
Yeah.
It's like, we got this photo from an ATM in Marrakesh or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? Yeah.
I think if I was in that briefing, I'd be like, it's too much. Just dial it back.
Yeah.
I don't need to know the rest of it. Where is he now? Just print off a piece of paper and hand me the piece of paper with where he is currently.
Please, if you could.
This is one from Matthew. It says, well, as a chocolatier, the start of the film Chocolat, where there is a making chocolate montage.
Well, I heard people love that, actually.
They do. Alfred Molina's in it.
That's right.
There's a snippet of her grinding beans on a stone, which is historically accurate.
Then what's the problem?
Well, it says to grind enough cocoa beans by hand to make chocolate to fill the shop, she would have arms like John Cena.
Oh, really?
Like you just have a machine, sure.
Yeah,
you just
you'd dump them all in, I guess, yeah.
Plus, she would need maybe half a ton of beans, which I'm pretty sure she wasn't carrying with her.
Good point.
He goes on to say, not to mention the equivalent amount in sugar and powdered milk. Plus a 100-kilo conching machine to blend and smooth the final product, am I right?
Yes.
Yep.
Probably.
I guess so too.
That's, again, an example of a thing where, like, if you're an expert in a particular field, it's very jarring.
Well, I mean, there's, the next one is from James, who says, my issue is when military movies have soldiers walk along the ridge of a hill or a mountain because it looks good. Like
you wouldn't do that because you get shot.
You get shot immediately.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The enemy soldiers would be like, oh, it's the enemy.
Yeah, in the sunset. I mean,
they're our
great.
enemy.
They're
they look incredible.
They do.
Incredible, cool silhouettes. I can see one's like a big machine gun guy, and one's like the communication guy.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is at the front.
One guy's got a samurai sword. Oh, it's Tom Cruise. He's the last samurai's back. Whoa.
Danny Warner says when a character applies to another character with something like, well, this isn't a movie show book. Yeah, I don't like that either. Because it is often. More often than not.
Yeah,
no,
right.
not more often than not. It is. It always is.
So would you remedy that by taking that line out?
Yeah, just take it out.
No, would you remedy it by having the other character say, no, it is.
It is, actually.
Yeah, this is a movie.
Yeah.
We're in a movie.
And now we're not getting paid because you referenced it.
That's
so
right.
Thanks a lot.
It was in our contracts. Can't admit we're actors.
Yeah,
What about when you recognise the landmark?
Yeah.
Like if something's filmed in Melbourne.
I guess, it does. You know what's really good at that? The Leftovers. Because the third season
That's
of that
filmed in
is filmed
Australia.
in Melbourne.
Okay.
Some of it is. And it's not like obvious Melbourne.
Right.
It's like, this kind of looks like Melbourne.
That's Luna Park.
It's Luna Park. That's a big mouth. That's a big spooky mouth. That's Luna Park. Google
It's
it.
the devil. It's what we've been afraid of all these seasons. We're in the show The Leftovers.
What about...
I think that's I mean, again, I like that's fairly localized. Like if you live in Scotland and you see some Scotland landmarks, not everybody's going to notice that.
No.
If it's supposed to be in America or whatever.
Yeah. Like the kebab shop in Infinity War.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But I don't know.
Elvis says military uniforms. I hate when a uniform in a movie looks sloppy and isn't worn properly. There are literally
What
manuals.
if it's Hawkeye Pierce?
That's a good point.
It's B What's the guy's name? You mentioned it.
BB-8.
Yeah, what if it's BB-8? He's been sent to the 4077. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt and he's smoking a cigar in his bunk. Shouldn't be able to do that.
There are literally manuals on how to wear a uniform properly. If you don't want to read, just get a military advisor who actually knows what they're talking about. Yep, absolutely fair point. Again,
Agreed.
one of those things where it's like, yeah, you would know that if you live that life.
This is from Casey.
Yep.
I work at a theme park and I can't watch the final act of Zombieland without thinking that one switch wouldn't turn on the whole park. And how are the rides being operated without people?
Great
You're
point.
absolutely right.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Jake says lack of consistency with VFX. It needs to all look good or all bad.
It's true.
Fair point.
Even if it's all bad, you settle into a groove. You know? You're like, oh, I can see the strings.
What about Casey who says, and French bread sticks, French bread sticking out of grocery bags and bad guys attacking one at a time and kids talking like adults. I'm okay with the French bread thing because when you buy it, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, but how often are you buying a French bread?
Or you get it often if we'd have a dinner party or a barbecue. You
la-di-da.
Because it's good. You cut it up and
What
everyone.
are you barbecuing your French bread?
Mason-
Like who wants a barbecued French bread? Everybody
No,
gets
Mason.
one.
In a barbecue, you cut it up into things and everyone gets a little bit of bread on their plate if they want it. There's a bowl of buttered bread in the middle of the table. Aren't you
Wow.
invited to things? Don't you know?
No, I'm at home with my loaf of bread, just eating bread.
Yeah, bad guys attacking one at a time. Again, I know I kind of that's one that I do notice, but I don't necessarily mind. But kids talking like adults, I do not like.
Because it's the screenwriter.
Yeah, it's the
Or
screenwriter.
is it? Are you annoyed by teenagers or kids talking like adults?
Yeah.
like because they're a quirky kid.
Okay.
Because that's annoying. But I think there's a difference between that and kids who are talking like the screenwriter.
Yeah, okay.
Who are like,
yeah.
this is how cool kids talk.
Yeah.
And I'm cool. People have told me I'm cool, so I'm just going to...
I love Captain Underpants. That's what a kid says, probably.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Casey says when actors playing a sport in movies and they clearly can't play at all. Yeah, that is a big one. There's some Leonardo DiCaprio basketball movie where he's not very good.
Basketball Diaries?
Yeah, it might be that, yeah. So that's not very good. Is it, Mason?
Not at all. No.
Yeah.
This Connor emailed in. He says terrible throws take me out of movies. So he says he played football for 15 years and I watched the sport my entire life, so I know how the ball should be thrown. The one thing that takes me out of the movies is when people obviously throw the football very poorly, but when the director cuts to the ball in the air, it's a perfect spiral.
Yeah, okay, fair
right?
point. Yeah, absolutely. I noticed that in all the Australian rules football movies that there are.
When people are doing the...
None.
Whoa.
When they're doing a big torp.
I was going to say a big torpedo punch. What about when someone's doing a big specky?
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah. Especially if they're putting their hands on the back because you're not allowed to do that, Mason. You got to use your specky. You got to just use your legs to get up there, mate. Up there,
That's right,
Gazali. Here we go. Rich says CGI blood. I think it depends on the movie, and I also think CGI blood is better than you think. Now,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like,
but yes, when it's bad, it's
Yeah.
very noticeable.
when they do one of those VFX reels where it's like, this, we didn't even film this in a real street, or like we filmed this in a back street and then we put an entire skyline in the back and you didn't even know, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
amazing.
It is, yeah, you're absolutely right. Harry says, I've always hated when a character acquires a new power, then they stare at their hands. Like, what the fuck are you looking at? Because often they'll like punch them really hard, I guess, and then they
Whoa.
have strong hands.
How did I do this punch?
Just my hands, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, what would you do in that situation, James?
I'd be like, fuck me, check that out. Check me out, I'd say. Check me out, everyone.
Whoa.
Look at me.
I've got doing a big specky powers. I just did such a big specky. I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching New Amsterdam. It's the soap drama, a medical drama on Netflix.
Okay.
And I've recently watched an episode where the head doctor in that or whatever, he was playing basketball. He's playing some street ball, and he's not very
When
good.
is this set?
It's set now.
Oh, okay.
When did you think it was set?
Well, you called it New Amsterdam. I'm like, is this set before New York was called New York?
No, Mason. It's a fictional hospital based off a real hospital.
Whoa.
I maybe talk about it in Suggestible a couple
Whoa.
episodes ago. My less successful podcast.
understand.
But
I always pause there for. I'm always like, when are you going to say your more successful podcast? Then I know I'm in trouble.
Brace, yeah. But he does play basketball, and he's not supposed to be very good, but watching that, and I've played a bit of basketball. I'm not very good either, but I'm like, I'm better than that guy.
Oh, is he supposed to be good?
No, he's not. So, but it was just me going, I'm better than that guy. Also, I'm probably not, but it's just me thinking that I'm better than him.
Nice.
Yeah. What about when a character uses Bing because Microsoft is a sponsor? No one uses Bing.
Oh, definitely.
Steven
Yeah.
says that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or what's worse? Bing
Yep.
or a fake search engine?
I prefer something that looks like Google, but they don't show the logo. No, but there's no logo. It's just a blank search engine.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways around it. You do that, that weird Dutch angle that's really close to just the little search bar, and then they click the search button, and then it's like, okay, well, here's the results. Yeah, you don't have to show
nothing. You have to show nothing.
We could direct a scene set in an internet cafe
We
where somebody
absolutely
does a
could.
search.
Exactly. People would love it.
I do like fake search engines though.
Yeah.
Gongle.
Gongle.com. Yeah. I'm going to check that right now.
Yahoo. Imagine a search engine called
Gross.
Yahoo. Can you think? I just came up with that.
Gongle.com. Here we go. Site can't be reached. Doesn't exist.
Whoa, that means it's available.
To us?
Yeah.
This one I noticed all the time. I notice all the time, but I've never acknowledged it. But I'm glad Max has. When audio and
Glad
visuals,
Max.
That's right. When audio and visuals don't line up. Sometimes a character is talking and the camera is behind them at an angle, and the words they're saying clearly don't line up with how the jaw and the mouth are moving. Happens a lot in TV shows. Yeah, so often
Because they're fixing it in post.
Yeah, you'll see like the back of someone's head when they're talking, but they're not. It's not. They're just using another shot. I notice that all the time.
Yeah. And that's a function of either it's an editing failure, they didn't get enough coverage, or they went, oh, this movie makes no sense if we don't add some stuff, and they just desperately look for any kind of place where you can't see the character's mouth moving to put some words around
Or you
them.
need the right reaction from the other person or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, this is fun stuff, Mason. You
It is
have
fun
got
stuff.
another fun stuff?
I don't know if
Or are you
I
looking at clothes, Mason?
Nope, I'm looking at other stuff.
He's shopping for clothes.
No, I'm not. I've got things.
I saw it.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to do one from Connor.
Please do.
When a character starts a conversation in one location, then the scene cuts to a new location and the dialogue flows naturally without missing a beat. Does that mean that they started the conversation,
Yes.
stopped mid-sentence,
Yeah.
and then waited 20 minutes to move to a new location? That's a lot of like walk and talk stuff. Like Inception does it a bit.
Yeah.
And that New Amsterdam show I've been watching does it a bit.
And I think we mentioned it when we watched GoldenEye, the James Bond movie. There is a scene where Bond and Famke Janssen's character are naked in a sauna, and then later they're fully clothed. And I'm like, did you have to hold? Yeah, you would have had to hold your gun on her the entire time you were both getting dressed.
Yes, that's right.
How did you do that?
He's James Bond.
I guess that's probably
Between
true.
his legs. He held it between his legs.
Yeah. Or he's like, can you hold this for a sec? I'm going to
please,
put my
if you
tie on.
could. Yeah. American flag is hung the wrong way from Eric. Does one person on set know that there's a set of rules on how to handle American flag? That's true. This could be for other countries. I'm not aware of their flag rule, but you can't get the simplest rule of how to hang a flag right. I get taken out. There is in Australia, I know, but sometimes at some primary schools or schools they do a flag raising thing or whatever. But the way they treat it here, they're just like, who gives a shit? No one cares,
for sure,
no one
yeah.
cares at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's different rules in the US.
Well,
There is a folding. There's a way to fold it, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Speaking of Australia, and how about this in terms of accents? What accent stuff takes you out of movies?
Bad accents, obviously.
Bad accents, for me, I think it is when you get the sense that somebody doing an American accent is an Australian actor. I'm immediately like, did they grow up in Adelaide? What's
I
the
know
deal
you're
there?
Anthony LaPaglia.
And they mostly did grow up in Adelaide.
That's
so,
right, yeah. What about Brian who says fake numbers that start with 555?
Yeah, but they're
I
better
just
at
a-
avoiding that now.
I've
I
just
think.
accepted that as like the universal in movie dub
Sure, yeah.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But you'd think if everybody's number started with 555, they could just cut that out of the phone system.
It's a good point, Mason.
Isn't it, though?
It's a great point, Mason.
Yeah.
Should we do a few more before we wrap this up?
Yeah, what do you got?
I've got, Ben says, people being able to see things clearly when swimming underwater without goggles. Very true.
I've never seen anything underwater. Ever.
You don't put your head underwater?
No, I do, but I can't see anything. I've never been able to see a darn thing.
Really? I can do it. You squint like this.
Oh.
But it's not great. Goggles, though, my God, change your life.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing swimming. When my son does his swimming lesson, I'd go and swim for like half an hour.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible. I hate swimming. I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad. Everyone in the world is better at swimming than me.
Whoa, even that basketball guy you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, he would be. It's frightening how bad I am at swimming.
Whoa.
Yeah. I can do it, sort of, but like, oh, good
So if someone
Lord.
sees you on the street, like as a fun goof, they should push you into the water.
I can swim, but my technique is horrible.
Okay, but if somebody pushed you into the Yarra River, for example.
Yeah, I'd drown. I'd die because of all the
fun,
carp.
fun.
Even
fun
Claire
prank,
laughs at me.
folks.
She's like, you look like you can, like you're moving, but you don't go anywhere. Like I look like I'm fucking bombing it, but I'm not like moving.
Wow.
But also I heard like I shouldn't worry about getting better because I'm getting a good workout.
That's true.
Because I'm not
if you're always
going anywhere.
struggling, then
Yeah,
all those muscle groups are working. It's
I
true.
guess. Melina says, as you know. So when someone goes, this is a thing you know, but let me go over it anyway.
For sure, yeah.
I feel like we do that here as well, but we do that for people who are listening because,
And because
they don't
also
know.
we often forget what we've told
Yes.
other people.
And this is also fictional.
And I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, as I've said, yep, yeah.
Yes.
Kendall says, too many famous people or one mega famous and many no-name actors.
Yeah.
Especially if the famous person is introduced later.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a TV series with a bunch of no-names and then they're like, we've got to talk to the judge, and then the judge is Anthony LaPaglia, as you mentioned.
Oh my God, he's from Adelaide.
Right? Then
Yeah.
you're like, what?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That is annoying. How dare they? Action Ben says smartphones stay lit when the actor has them up to their ear. It's a good point. That's all something you don't really notice on your own phone, I guess, do you?
True. God, there's a lot. We've ruined a lot of movies.
Yeah, I
for
hope so.
ourselves,
We've
haven't we?
ruined a lot of things,
I do
yeah.
hate all movies. I
Yeah,
mean,
me too.
this episode has encompassed all movies I've ever seen. They all have something like this in them. So,
Exactly.
but fortunately, Zack Snyder's Justice League will not have any of these things.
I completely agree. This one I also agree with. Fraser says, I'll end on this one. Freestanding holograms in movies that aren't set in the very far future, if at all. So true. We actually are coming up, guess what? This week, Caravan of Garbage.
Yes.
We're doing the Nick Fury, David Hasselhoff movie.
Yeah, we are.
From the 90s.
Yeah.
And there is a freestanding hologram in that. And by the way, atrocious.
Comes out of a man's mouth.
Oh, I mean, that is, but the movie in itself,
Oh, it's also horrible.
absolutely atrocious. One of the
Really?
one of the all-time worst.
One of the bad ones,
So that's
yeah.
coming up on Caravan of Garbage on Tuesday. But we'll be early on Big Sandwich and Patreon.
Yeah.
Any others, Mason? Or would you call it a bloody day, mate?
People who never finish their food.
Yeah. Finish your food.
It doesn't take me out of the movie, but it's like I've got to go. Like somebody's at home and they're eating or whatever, and they're like, or like in the station house,
Yep.
and they're like, we're gonna go, and I'm like, you're not gonna bag that up.
Finish
You're
your
gonna take
food,
it with
man.
you?
I always finish my food.
Yeah,
I went to a restaurant last night with Claire. I finished my food.
nice.
And they gave me a bit of bread,
yeah.
like you would get from a French stick. I actually saw them cut it.
Huh.
Yeah, and I used it to mop up the sauce.
But then they'd have like bits of crust everywhere, like because from the sawing of the bread.
They didn't saw it at my table.
Huh.
They saw it at a different location, but I saw them cut it.
It'd be there. They'd have to clean that up.
That's their
Not
problem.
worth it.
It's not-
They
That's,
should've
it's how do you eat French bread? You eat the whole thing? What
Yeah.
what are you even talking about?
One go. They should have given you a slice of white bread from a packet.
A sunny crust loaf.
Yes, that's right.
All right.
Maybe I have. Hang on, I'm looking at a Twitter thread. I'm just gonna zip through it. Really
Oh, there was
quick.
that famous Twitter thread that went around, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
That you mentioned before the show. Also, I'm just explaining a thing that we spoke about in real life.
As I know.
Yes, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good stuff, I think. God, it's good to ruin movies for everyone.
I know, right? I hope everybody's had all their movies ruined. No, that's everything.
That's everything, and we've done
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Is it time then?
Yes.
If dare I say, for
Yes.
the next segment of the show.
What we reading?
Yeah.
What we gonna read?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm doing a thing. Westworld. It's a Westworld time, everybody. It's time for Westworld. No, it's time for What We're Reading,
Oh.
where we talk about what we're reading.
See, some people might be confused because you did that Westworld thing.
Yes.
But then some people might be impressed because you did that delightful Westworld song.
I think it's important that everybody knows that I know what I'm doing. The next, this segment of
When
the
are you going to start bloody doing that, eh? Bloody...
Now, Mason, as you know,
yes.
this is the segment of the show where we talk about what we've been reading and
That's
watching
right.
in our real lives. I'm still reading Invincible. I'm just making my way through
Yeah.
Invincible. I'm nearly up to issue 100. There's 170 odd. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to finish that.
It's an epic tale.
And I also, some people wanted an update on whether I finished Coming to America.
Because you had 10 minutes left.
I did, but then you arrived at my house and I haven't watched it.
Oh.
So how does it end? I don't know. There's a moment where they show a series of dried foreskins, though. There's a joke about foreskins, so that's, if you want to check that out, check it out.
Intriguing.
Is it?
No?
Are you going to watch it?
No.
Yeah, fair enough. Just that scene, I mean.
No.
Okay, good. What next?
I watched, on your lukewarm recommendation, I watched Boss Level.
And?
It's all right.
It was all right, wasn't it?
All right, yeah. Is that what's interesting about it though is that I saw I watched it and then I read a couple of reviews, general consensus on Wikipedia or whatever, and it was like this movie's so brisk. But I at one point was like, this movie's going for a really long time, and I checked and was like the 45-minute mark.
Yeah, right.
And I think it is a function of
Because it's cut up into
well, I watched this at home, and if I was watching this in the cinema, I think the momentum would prevent me from.
Yeah.
But there's just enough downtime in this movie, or just enough, because it's a sort of a Groundhog Day time loop-esque situation that I'm just like, it's going on for a while, isn't it? Yeah.
Did you like
Pretty
the
good,
action
though, no?
scenes? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good
it's
action
good.
scenes.
Yeah.
It's got the video game tropes, obviously.
It does, yeah.
It's got Naomi Watts if you want an Australian to take you out of a movie.
It did.
Yeah, so
Like,
there you
what
go.
kind of accent she doing here?
It's got Mel Gibson, but he's very much not Australian. It's been
It's true.
established.
Yeah, he's from elsewhere.
That is England's problem now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. I've also been watching the YouTube channel. Maybe you recommended this to me some other time, or maybe you've never heard of it. Toy Galaxy.
Maybe I don't think I have.
They just do deep dives on nostalgic toys from the 80s, or flash in the pan TV shows that.
Oh, this is my jam, man.
Yeah, kind of like they'll do an episode on the 8 episodes of Manimal that were released.
Oh my god, the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the TV show reboot, Brave Star.
Yeah, that's
These
right.
are all the things that we talk about all the time.
But probably better.
Photon. I don't know what that is.
Well, that's the thing. There's some where I'm like, oh wow, that's Exo Squad.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I have vague recollections of these. The Power Lords or something.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BattleTech.
BattleTech. I'm just looking for one of these. I'm going to add to my watch later.
Yeah, cool.
What's going to be Mask? Oh no, not Mask.
Yeah, it's sort of. It's pretty similar to
Yeah,
something
Voltron,
like.
that's gonna.
It's pretty similar to like the Toys That Made Us or something like that. But there's no interviews. It's just kind of like a video essay format.
Toys That Made Us is getting too choppy.
Yeah,
I
I've
talked
watched it
about
a while.
this. Or maybe it's the movie one that I watched, and it's like, hold on, back up, and then they'll cut in someone going, that's clearly unrelated. And they're like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
before we do that, let's do it. And I'm like, can you just tell the story? Fucking Christopher Nolan with your jumping all over narrative.
Well,
shit.
these are very linear. It's the host name is Dan Larson, and he's very very good at
my
explaining
God.
old stuff that I like.
Automan. I haven't thought about Automan. Silverhawks. Oh
there's
my God.
there's Silverhawks, there's Thundercats, and there was another one where they were sea creatures, but they're all exactly the same format.
Yes.
They all have exactly the same character archetype.
The Might, the Menace of Monster. Remember Monster?
that was Silverhawks, yeah.
Dino Riders.
Also, something that I forgot. We always talk about the GoBots. We're never not talking about the GoBots.
Yeah,
In Australia, they were called Machine Men. I forgot about that.
I did not remember that at all.
That's what they were called. Because they were licensed from a Japanese company where they were called Machine Men. And then they got changed to GoBots, but we got them as Machine Men.
Oh my goodness, this is a real situation.
Right?
Oh, the sad end of Toys R Us. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Grim stuff.
There's a Knight Rider. I think there was a Knight Rider. The algorithm recommended me a Knight Rider episode, which is how I got
that's
into
a
it.
newish one. The history of the real Ghostbusters.
Oh, maybe
I told you about those cartoons, how they re-released the toys. I think I showed you a
Oh,
photo.
yeah, right.
Horrible.
Oh, no.
So there you go. Should we do the next segment of the show?
Let's do
The
momentarily
next segment.
the next segment of said show. Yes, we will do it. It's the letters segment.
Perfect timing.
The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Oh my God, dino sauces.
Well, see, I don't know what,
I
some
haven't thought about
weeks,
that in a
some weeks
million
I'm
years.
like, I struggle to think of something in the What We Were Eating segment. I'm like, where does all my time go? And then it took me until a couple of weeks ago, I'm just like, oh yeah, YouTube.
You're just watching YouTube all the time.
Because and it's interesting stuff
It's
on
good,
demand.
and it's as niche as you want it.
It's exactly as niche
And
as
even
you
if
want it,
you're like, I want a retrospective on Ninja Turtles, and you start one, you're like, this is shit. I'll watch one of the other 1,000 ones that are on here.
If I was just like, man, Automan is fascinating, I just want to watch video essays about Automan.
can.
Just Automan recaps.
Yeah.
It was by the guys that did Tron, which is why it looks like
okay,
Tron.
that makes a lot of sense.
But they learned a lot, from the production of Tron. They're like, some of this stuff was really difficult. Here's the way to make it easier. For example, film a lot of it in the dark.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So that was a TV show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they did what? There's the Manimal episode also references Nightman. We should do which got 3 seasons.
What?
Right?
That can't be right.
We should do an episode on
You've
Nightman.
made a mistake there.
Which is the Malibu Ultraverse superhero who's a jazz saxophonist who got struck by lightning and gained the ability to see evil or whatever it is.
You can see it.
Yeah,
there it is, he says. I see it over
See
there.
it over there. I'm going to punch it now. Punch it real good.
So if you do want to reach the show, hashtag weeklyplanetpod on Twitter or weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. We got a few audio ones this week as well, which we're going to tap into. Maybe we'll do some tweets first, Mason.
Let's do some tweets. Yeah, terrific.
Because we still got to plug in your
yeah, that's true.
So while I'm setting this up, I think we've talked about this before, but Cam says, subs or dubs, settle a debate. Hashtag weeklyplanetpod.
Mostly
I know
subs.
everything about anime.
You're the guy who knows everything about anime.
Subs.
I said anime there, so I don't know anything about.
I guess I watched when I watched One Punch Man. I tried to watch it initially with dubs. It just doesn't play at all. I don't know what it is about it, but no subs.
I don't want to be an absolutist. I'm sure there's got to be something out there.
Well, a lot of stuff that came over here is dubbed. It happens all the time.
I'm sure I saw Akira, probably the first Akira and Ghost in the Shell, which were probably two of the earliest anime things I ever saw. I think they would have been dubbed.
Yeah.
And speaking of stuff that takes you out of the movie,
remember when they remade Ghost in the Shell 3 years ago?
Vaguely, yeah. All trace of it's been scrubbed off the internet. I think I was like, no, maybe I'll rewatch a minute of that, and it was just gone from it. Speaking of stuff that takes you out of the movie, Kaneda was voiced by the guy who did Leonardo in the Ninja Turtles cartoon.
That is distracting.
Very distracting.
Didn't he know that it would be distracting and do a different voice, Leonardo?
Yeah, he should have done a different voice, right?
Didn't Jason Biggs voice him in a more recent one?
Kaneda or Leonardo?
Leonardo.
And Kaneda.
Yeah.
Probably.
My dick's stuck in this pizza. You just can't get away from that character.
My dick's stuck in Neo Tokyo. No, Tetsuo. We have fun.
We do, don't we? Let's do it. Let's do an audio one now.
Okay, let's do it. All right.
One of these we have checked and one of them we have not.
But just before we go, folks, if there's an anime out there and you're like, the dubs are incredible, they've really knocked this out of the park, let us know what it is.
I've only watched Dragon Ball Z in dubs.
Oh, yeah, right.
But yeah.
Okay, let's have a listen. Who's this from?
This is from... No, you know this one. It's from Steve. Says, thought I'd send a delightful question in audio form. If it's a crap question, here's another one. Oh, we'll see how we go.
Okay, all right.
That's how we go, Steve.
We got that question saved up. Just
well, also, we checked it, so it's probably good.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So I can't remember it, though, from the top of my head. Let's go.
Hello, boys. I have a question pertaining to friendship. With you guys, as with all my other favourite podcasters, I'd like to think that in different circumstances, we'd maybe be friends, even though I know in reality, you'd probably hate me. My question is, which movie characters would be the best people to be friends with? For example, I think Batman would be too much of a self-involved dickhead to even shoot you a "how you doing, mate" kind of text, and John Wick would be just a grumpy arsehole. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but either way, thanks for the podcast, the videos, the community you've created, and for being a fantastic distraction in these weird times. Cheers, boys.
So I think in the case of those two, for example,
yes,
they might actually be useful because they'd come through for you. I'm sure.
So what your friends are for, James, being useful?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cool, nice.
No, you'd help each other out. Do you know what I mean? In a scenario where you'd need Batman, he'd probably be there. He wouldn't shoot you a text, but he'd look out for you.
For sure. And John Wick would help you hide a body, probably.
That he killed.
Yeah.
I'd need you to help me. Just help me bury this body.
Yeah. But I think, look, in terms of the spectrum of friendship, Batman probably bad because he's kind of just being because he's obsessed with fighting crime.
He's not obsessed with friendship.
No, that's true. But Superman, on the other hand, probably too many texts.
Yeah, okay. Too much checking in.
He probably does.
He pops in.
He probably just does probably does a whirlwind of text all his friends. He's like, hey, just
yeah, and you're like, this guy.
Okay, I gotta text him back now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Who, in terms of
I think Captain America would be a very good friend.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's a good friend to America. Even if America, doesn't always agree with what he's about.
That's true. And the dude from The Big Lebowski.
That's right. He'd be a good friend. He'd be fun as well, wouldn't he? Yeah. He'd be a lot of fun. What about a fun dirtbag friend? It's like a Bradley Cooper from The Hangover.
Oh,
do you want to hang out with him?
Not really, no. But there's got to be some fun dirtbags out there. What about Jay and Silent Bob? Would you hang out with them?
I'd totally hang out with Jay and Silent. Also, Bradley Cooper in The Hangover, he's a teacher. Yeah. And then when he goes, it's bachelor party time, and this kid comes up and he's tries to talk to him, and he's like, "Fuck off, kid. I'm not teaching at the moment. I'm not a teacher anymore or whatever because it's the weekend." I would never do that. I'm still nice to kids that I run into who are 20-odd now.
Right.
Still go back into teacher mode immediately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, well, you guys would not get along.
They don't know I'm a monster.
It's true.
They probably figured it out.
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who'd be a good movie friend?
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, Paul Rudd in literally any role. Yeah. Ant-Man, the guy from I Love You Man,
Yeah, he's
whatever.
a good friend. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Should we move on, though?
Yes.
Okay, this is Unscreamed.
Whoa.
Some Riley says, hey, James and May, so big fan. My question is about the future of Marvel Disney Plus
What
shows.
was the backup question from the first
Oh,
part?
well, I didn't check it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
But I mean, his first question was good, so we can probably not answer this. But
Exactly.
I'd just like to know what it is.
With all the in-jokes you have during the podcast, you ever find yourself saying them out in the real world and then realizing nobody understands what the fuck you're talking about? Maybe the busting out, I'm the devil all the time.
No,
literally never.
I
I don't reference any of this in the real world.
I would say
ever.
almost exclusively different jokes in the real world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
If you meet me in real life, you'll get a fresh new joke. That's a Meso guarantee.
also, the things that we joke about in real life don't normally correlate with this.
No.
Yeah.
They're more horrific,
They're
honestly.
way meaner.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this from
All right.
Riley.
What is up, James and Meso? So with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier starting up, my question's about how essential you guys think these Marvel shows should be to understand the overall storylines and the future of the Marvel Universe. So in 2019, Kevin Feige said, you'll probably need a Disney Plus subscription in order to understand the events of the films. But at the end of last month, he is quoted as saying, you'll be right up to speed if you have or haven't watched the show. So with so many more of these Marvel Disney Plus shows on the way, I wonder what you guys' opinions were about how necessary it should be to watch these shows in order to keep up with the movies, and whether trying to please hardcore and casual fans at the same time might hold these shows back from doing anything groundbreaking. I love you guys. I've been a fan since 2014. Having new videos and podcasts every single week is something I always look forward to. So thank you guys. Grab that gem. Much love.
Thank you very much.
We
Much
love
to
you also.
Yes, that's right. No, he said
love all-
much love, and you said I love you also. So that's too much.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow, I've altered the dynamic of the friendship. That's a shame.
Yeah, it
That's
really
a good
is.
question, because if we watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then at the end of that, it didn't matter. Like if we go into the next movie and we go,
Yeah.
none of the events of the 8-9 episodes mattered, or the secret episode.
Sure.
Then why did we watch this?
Yeah, but I think also a lot could be said for most of those movies. Where
Yeah.
like you don't need to really see
That's true.
most of them
yeah,
to
yeah,
lead
yeah.
in.
I guess if we go
Yeah.
into the next one and then Falcon and Winter Soldier are like they're better buddies now. I guess that's
We're better buddies now.
that's right. That's what they say.
Don't worry about how, but just
Yeah.
trust us. We are.
We've each got
Yeah.
half of this shield.
Yes. I think it's going to be like it always is with these series, where if you know it, you're more in the know.
Yep.
And you're rewarded for knowing more about it because you get more details and jokes.
What would you prefer?
I don't mind the balance because I know they're for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, these are for me and bleh.
Right.
I
yeah.
think the most inaccessible one would be Endgame. If you went
Oh,
into
yeah.
that. But even then they're like, you get it. It's Thanos and then you got to whatever. Like they explain it to you anyway.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I don't mind it. They're blockbusters. They're for everybody. They're for kids. They're for adults. They're for fans. They're for non-fans.
Would you fear burnout? I don't fear burnout now, just because we've had so little Marvel content.
It's true.
On
It's
the big
true,
screen.
listeners.
That's right. We've had so few Marvel movies on the big screen, in the last year, that I'm like, yes, I would like to see, 9 hours of WandaVision, 9 hours of Falcon and Winter Soldier. But once we get back to the regular scheduled content, I wonder if we're doing 4 Marvel movies a year and a couple of TV series.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But whatever.
Yeah, let's see
I
how
don't
we go,
mind.
huh? Yeah,
I don't mind.
At this point, bring it on, honestly.
Yeah, as much as you can give us.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's not that much when you think about like content in general. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's always a lot of stuff all the time
That's
now.
true.
So
But I
think I'll go in waves with this stuff as
Yeah.
well. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to think about this ever again. And other times I'm like, give me all this all the time.
But also, like you said, it's Netflix is kind of dropping the ball a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And I would much rather have, I think, a guaranteed appointment viewing. I know we're gonna see Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I like those actors, and I like the universe and the storyline. I know it's going to be at least pretty entertaining, as opposed to get on Netflix and just keep scrolling
Just keep
until
going,
something
mate.
looks like it's okay. Like I'd rather have guaranteed 1 hour or 50 minutes of really good viewing in any given week.
I love viewing.
Yeah, me too.
Got this from Dame Dismember, who says, did you guys ever get into heavy metal adult comics? So many great artists, all the cleavage, huge guns, long swords, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. I feel like there's something you would know more about than me.
I have like the odd issue.
Yeah.
Just because they're...
You like the boobs.
Yeah, for sure. And
You're like a big monster truck with boobs or
well, I
whatever.
do have... There's an issue... I do have an issue at home that I like kept in a box for a really long time. That is... It's from like 1993, and it's the one where Donald Trump becomes the president.
Oh my God, Mason.
I've got that one. There's a storyline.
Let me give that a Google. Let me give that a Yahoo.
Yeah, tell me what year that's from.
Heavy
I think it might be
metal.
from might be like 91 or something. But I do have. That's one of the few ones that I still have. I can't like it. It's kind of. I think it's one of those things where it's like you always used to like 2000 AD.
Yeah,
and I had a
sure.
bunch of those, and I'd occasionally, if heavy metal had kind of like a sci-fi esque kind of thing, I would probably pick up an issue or two. But
1990, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Apparently he builds a wall in this
Yeah, he
as
does.
well or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I'll bring it over.
Holy shit. No, you don't need to bring it over. I have
No,
it.
I want to curse your house with
No,
it.
I can see it.
Oh, okay,
it's-
right.
it's- oh,
Okay.
man. This is pretty insane.
Yeah.
He's wearing a beret at some point. He's like a Che Guevara type.
Yeah, like in real life.
Oh my God.
They predicted the future with uncanny accuracy.
Pretty weird.
But when anything produces, there's been 2,000 issues or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
It's bound to happen
You're
eventually.
eventually going to
You're eventually going to
guess that
strike
Donald
oil.
Trump's
Yeah.
the president.
Yeah.
Polar Bear says, hey, Nick and James, one of my all-time favourite episodes of yours was Hollywood Feuds. I thought a similar topic could be nightmare movie productions. Any chance you could do a pod on them?
Yes.
My late birthday present, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod.
I would like that. We did cursed movies
We
one
did.
time.
For a polar bear, yeah, I could definitely do that.
that's right,
Endangered species. I love doing those Coca-Cola commercials, whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, I got a couple of emails just to round us out.
Round us out.
Okay, this is from Harry Pollard. He
Hello,
says,
Harry Potter.
Got in a dream film school thanks to you.
Oh, my God, a dream film school.
Like Inception.
Yes.
Dear James and Mace, I've been a listener since your Age of Ultron episode, 2015, and haven't stopped tuning in weekly since then. You both made me laugh when I've been really struggling. James fancying Maid Marian is a personal favourite of mine, he says.
Just a quick amendment to that. That's not true. You meant to write Mason. It might have auto-corrected.
No, I didn't. It says James.
Yeah? I don't even believe that.
There's
this
no
is
way
I don't
Mason-
even think this is a real email.
There's no way Meso could autocorrect to James. Wouldn't work.
Then he must have got us confused.
Yeah.
'Cause it's definitively you and everybody knows that except this fucking guy for some reason.
Well, I think he's very canny and correct.
If he's a big fan, he'd know that, all I'm saying, Mason.
Well, I think he's the biggest fan. I recently applied to study film at university and got accepted into my favourite schools. I have you two to thank for helping me interested in film, but I also want to thank my girlfriend, who I'm trying to convince to let me listen to the pod whilst driving, for giving me the courage to follow my passion for film.
Nice.
Hopefully in a few years I'll be making films for the two of you to rubbish on the podcast.
Oh, I can't wait. Just us with less talent, just putting the boot into your work.
That's right.
Oh, my God, I can't
P.S.
wait.
Can I be the official Essex boy of the podcast? Yes, you can. That's Harry from Essex.
Thank you, Harry from Essex.
I mean, we didn't do much there.
no, we
feel like-
bothered your girlfriend and you listened to us.
That's
And you got some facts wrong, but that's more on you. Is that the show then, Mason? Is that the
Well, there's
show?
one more email.
Okay.
This is from Stephen. He says, I also dream of Mason.
Right.
Hello, James and Nick. I've been listening and watching your content for years now, but never had the impulse to write in until I heard of that man's wife dreaming of Mason. Last year, I dreamed that Nick and I were sitting in a diner enjoying a coffee and a chat. I let him know I was thinking of moving to Australia, and he responded, nah, mate, don't want you here. I was heartbroken, of course, but when Nick Mason doesn't want you moving to Australia, you don't move to Australia.
What do you do, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the world you live in. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Thanks for the laughs and dream tears from Stephen. Could I be the official person Nick doesn't want to move to Australia of the podcast? Yes, absolutely, you may.
What would you say in real life to this person?
Where is he from originally? Let's see. Well, he said Diner, so he's probably from America, right?
Makes sense. Do you want him?
I mean,
He could bring you some American candies.
I can buy American candies off the internet.
That's a good point. Wouldn't you rather somebody
Bring him,
have
yeah.
their grubby hands on
I
them?
would absolutely prefer somebody like weigh down their suitcase and have to pay like an extra charge. Yeah, so
to take
definitely.
out a pair of
yeah.
jeans to put your
Yeah,
food
exactly.
in.
That's
Yeah,
right.
cool.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Perfect.
Look, do you want to move? Do people want to move to Australia? I reckon
pretty
move to
good.
Canada.
Yeah,
Canada, Finland.
Finland's pretty good. Switzerland's amazing.
Switzerland. Yeah, and they would speak good English there, so you wouldn't have to learn anything.
Somewhere on the equator. It's quite
Yeah.
nice. It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tropical Hawaii.
That's a beautiful place.
Beautiful, very beautiful. Hang loose. That's
Hang
what you
loose,
could do
hang
there.
tan, have
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
All right.
move to Hawaii, unless you're in some sort of Hawaiian diner.
Does this person even want to move to Australia? Doesn't mean. I mean,
I don't know.
we don't know.
We don't know.
That's the show,
It is
Mason.
the whole show. Thank you so much,
Justice
everyone,
League
for
next
listening.
week.
Oh my God!
It's happening again.
Yes! Justice League and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Which one's going to be better? Probably
Oh,
Falcon
probably
and the Winter
Falcon,
Soldier,
yeah.
honestly.
But which are you more excited for, really?
Oh, no, yeah, Justice League. Because
Who knows?
just
It's happening again.
there's a whole subculture of people who just their whole world is riding on this for one reason or another. And I just I want to see the movie. I don't think it'll be that much different, honestly.
I think it will be.
But I think I just want to see people's reaction to it.
Oh my God.
You know?
Me too.
I'm just excited.
I'm so excited.
What is the hashtag going to turn into after this? You know
Isn't
what
it
I mean?
continue the Snyder Cut or whatever?
It's restore the Snyderverse, I
Right,
think.
straight up,
Something like that.
straight up, dog.
But anyway, it's very exciting.
Straight up,
Folks,
dog.
thank you so much for listening, for telling a friend, for lying to a friend to get them to listen to the podcast,
Yes.
for subscribing, for leaving a nice review. James, you got a couple?
I got a couple of reviews right here for you, mate. Don't even worry about
Thanks,
it. This
mate.
is from, you can just do it in app. I love it. This is from Kings of Landons, who says, absolutely love it. I'm an aspiring person in the industry, and this is a great place to learn about the do's and don'ts of everything. I wouldn't.
Don't do what we do
No.
is the answer there.
What people like to see and stuff. Plus, nothing is better than the two best friends just sitting around talking about things. Love you both.
You're very welcome.
I didn't know love you to this guy.
No, you burned me that last time, so I'm a bit,
You could do something like that, or you could just do this from Mika Bots, who says, I'm sitting in line for food. Good old show. Just 5 stars. Whatever. We'll take them all.
What kind of food did you get?
Great question.
A food you have to go in a line to.
No doubt.
So probably not a French bread.
You saying they're not as popular as they should be?
No.
Okay, very good.
Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to Weekly Planet Pod at Gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collins. He's at Raw Collins on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter, and on Instagram, I'm Nick Maso, NickMaseau. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Look
If
out
you want to support the
this week.
show,
Yeah.
you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies to chuck in a buck. We would very much appreciate that. You can go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description if you want to get some stuff delivered to your home. Go through our Amazon link, why don't you? You can also go to bigsandwich.co. We've got early stuff. We've got bonus stuff. We've got movie commentaries. We've got bonus podcasts. We've got all kinds of stuff up there. We're having a grand time making it.
God.
What did we do last week? We did some. The other day we made some clickbait.
We did. We put some stuff in the tank ready to
Put
go.
some stuff in the tank. We had a grand time.
Every time new one of these goes out, there's a new
That's exactly
episode.
right.
Exclusive,
Oh
Mason.
my God.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rack and for all the musical themes. We got some t-shirts on TeePublic.
No. Next week.
It's a whole show, yeah.
Oh my God, it's happening again.
Oh my
it has
God.
to be more because it has to be different because it's 4 hours,
It
man.
is 4 hours. That is very true. Even if it's just like an hour and a half just tacked on at the end, it's still more stuff. Even if it's just test reel footage for an hour and a half at the end.
No, they finished it.
Whoa.
It's going to be so
This
great.
is- I've seen a clip where like Cyborg's spinning around, he's shooting lasers out of his hands.
I'm not even watching any of it.
crazy.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the day of.
Yeah.
17th, 18th,
Oh.
19th. I can't remember.
You mind one little thing?
What's that?
Darkseid's shooting his Omega beams out.
Oh, I did see that.
They're all
come
going
now.
zippy zip.
Zippity zap.
Zippity zipperoo.
Zip, zap,
That's the noise
got-
they go.
Zip zap got your back. That's what he says. That's what he says, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's his famous catchphrase. Oh yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you for a very exciting episode next week.
Grab that jam, you guys.
Either
We'll
way,
see you.
unless it's dull. If it's dull, I'll be upset.
Yeah, dull will be the worst crime it could
Yeah.
possibly, but surely not.
Surely not. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.